As a solution architect, I'm often thinking about all my inputs and my outputs that must occur within my architecture. But what if that input is actual paper documents? Hello, my name is Jamil Spain, developer advocate with IBM Cloud. And for all those paper documents that you'll have, you have to think of a mass way that you want to process all of those. My topic for today is automation document processing. So let's take a look at what really this concerns here. It's really centered around one major principle here is that you want to get all the data inputted from these forms. And a lot of traditional workflows actually encapsulate have that process of having paper that needs to be filled out, scanned in, and turned in. And what's your major option to process that? Human workers actually have to read and input that data entry into the system here. But the difference here with this document processing is that we're going to apply AI, machine learning, and a low-code, no-code solution to allow you to build machine models that actually learn from a lot of these the context of what the documents that you have coming into the system, and allow you to build some workflow that interprets and what happens next once you have extracted all the data out from that. So what are the benefits of doing this? Why would I want to invest the time to do this? Well, I just mentioned one earlier. With all these documents, you must have manual people that manually look at and process this data. And after hours and hours of looking at the same document, we want to also ensure, well, one thing that we're going to ensure by doing it from an automated perspective is making sure we have that data accuracy. And for any what we'll kind of replace or optimize is take your people's time to do other tasks and eliminate all the errors that can occur from people just looking at the same document, a mundane task of interpreting all this information here. So let's bring a little more perspective to this. So now that we've kind of set down the context of what we're discussing, let's get to the whiteboard over here to the right and kind of figure out, or the whiteboard over here, and figure out how does this kind of map out here? Well, we know that, let me see if I can do a person here. They have a document that they're going to always put in, and these could be multiples of single, or we're talking, to the thousands and thousands. Let's think of it as a doctor's office that has to process all this paper to come in. Haven't quite digitized their process yet, but this is one way they can still do their traditional business and make that input of data that they want to get off those forms to be digitized, that workflow. So when you have these actual documents that are coming in, what you're going to actually do is, I'm going to abbreviate here, the document processing cloud, let's say. So that data is going to be coming in. Now inside here, we're going to make sure that we make a model that really studies the particular information that's there. We may be able to classify some fields as personal data, PII data, personal information, or public information, or information that's protected. So we have that ability there. Its major job as that document comes in to making a model, it's going to try to interpret. We can highlight the fields that must be there to say you need to pull this information off the page. All right. It will try its best to kind of interpret that as well. And I can also tell it to, if information is not clear or it cannot interpret it outright, let that be a state that user intervention is required, where I must say, I agree. This is what it thinks it found. This is what I agree that it found. But the important thing here is the machine learning. So as we start processing more and more documents, it gets to learn from all the use cases that it comes across and get smarter and smarter, get more and more efficient from there. But as you kind of go in, the output of that is going to be the data that you want to extract. And so whether that integrates into other systems through APIs or some type of other application that needs the data, you can now start to go in and continue processing and go from there as well. So what we discovered today is document processing. Having large amounts of paper that you want to digitize into and get that workflow to be something you can speed up and really meet the demand that processing needs to occur today in our common event-driven applications that we kind of go into. So this is a great discipline to get into for your project. If you have these symptoms of documents that you want to process, I recommend you give document processing a look. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please drop us a line below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe.